Sheldon, this is a time in the season that you guys have been working towards all year. What is it like to sort of be now switching into this mode for this group?
It's great. It's exciting, to still be competing and preparing and doing all that stuff. You're here. There's 16 teams in the league that are not, and so that's an accomplishment in and of itself. But it's exciting. We're here and. Like I said, ready to compete and excited for a chance to prepare for an opponent and get out and play some playoff hockey. It's just this is the time of the year. It's what you want to do is extend your year and play as long as you can and be alive in the spring. It's the best part about it. I hope everybody here gets extra pay for having to hang out with us a little longer.
You have this group that, you have some guys who have played a lot of playoff hockey and a lot of guys who have played maybe less than 15 games or so. What's the biggest challenge for guys who haven't played a ton entering this time of year that you have to either manage or be aware of, if anything?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you have a player misses time with you, it's, they've missed out on some of the detail, some of the context of some of the things that, that happen over the course of a season. In some cases, then you also miss out on, of course, the conditioning, whether it's the mental or physical part of it.
I meant like they haven't ped a ton of playoff games.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Excuse me, I lost
that's
me.
Okay. No, that's fine. Right? This weird mix. Of...
Yeah. I mean, I think it's the biggest thing when you're not playing playoff games is you have to be ready for the emotions of the game and the series. It's up and it's down. It's all over the place. It's louder. It's harder. It's more competitive. But the emotional piece is probably the greatest difference in playoffs. Is you're playing the same opponent over and over. It's the highs and the lows and the emotional swings that happen on a daily basis. That's really what it is about managing, and then of course within the game itself, managing your emotions and still being able to play through it. So yeah, you got a good mix of guys with lots of that here. Obviously, that's a big part of the additions that we made in the off season is to bring people in with that pedigree. That both know how to play in playoffs, but also have an expectation to still be playing this time of year. That's the biggest thing. Is you never want to have anybody in your organization that's making plans in April. So it's an expectation that you're playing in the playoffs, and you put everything, you work and put everything towards that end. And I think we've added that. And we're certainly happy to still be alive, but not satisfied. We're hungry to compete.
Hallie should be good to go. I saw him out there. They're doing fine.
Yeah, he's totally fine. He's good. Yeah.
Okay. It's like coaching in the playoffs. You're matching wits. You got one opponent, putting in a strategy, adjusting, kind of going head to head on with another coach. How fun is it for the coaches being on the bench?
Yeah, it is. It's fun. It's the best time of year for everyone. Like you said, it's the game to game and managing it, whether it's winning a game and finding a way to sustain it or try to sort through what you think the opposition might do to adjust or counter, or having your own adjustments and such. Managing the emotions of your players and yourself, that's what it's all about. I mean, it's up and it's down, it's all over the place, and it's as competitive as can be, and it's the best of the best in terms of the teams that are still left. So no easy shifts, no easy nights. It's very exciting. The preparation part of it right now is exciting. It's a little daunting on the coaching staff to go through all the information and then decipher what it is, that you're showing the players and what it is you're keeping to yourself, just so that you can keep them by the time puck drops, free and prepared mentally, but also in check with themselves and their own game and just going out and playing.
Sheldon, on the uniqueness of the preparation in this series, in particular, knowing for 2 weeks that you've kind of had this matchup, and really it's looked like that for even longer, has that given your staff maybe more time than past years in your career to take in all of that Carolina content that you want to?
Yeah, for sure it has. Granted, I think in past years in Toronto, we knew for quite a while who we were going to play. It was just kind of jockeying for home ice in each of the years. But yeah, this last little while, and really since playing them back just after Christmas, we had a pretty good sense that if if we were going to be able to make the playoffs, we'd be in a situation like this. You're likely playing Carolina. So, yeah, we've been having an eye towards them for a while. And since it's been locked in, now you're able to communicate some things a little more freely with the players in that regard. And we feel like we've used our time wisely. It certainly helps to do that and to have that time. Again, though, as the biggest challenge becomes just to not do too much and get away from what it is you need to do to have your own team prepared.
Obviously, the building's going to be pretty loud. Games 1 and 2 in Carolina, and the players in there, to their part, they said that you have to play with structure, but you want to play with a little urgency as well. But how difficult is that for players to kind of like pull back a little as a visiting team, pull back a little the emotion and play with that structure that you want them to play in order to have success, and maybe wane off that first 5-7 minutes before you can then begin to play the game?
Well, playing this opponent in particular, you fully expect they're going to have their absolute best in the first 5-10 minutes of the game, and that's going to bring their fans alive. It's a very loud building, and they, as their team generates momentum, as they often do, their fans fuel that even further. So that's all stuff to manage. It's on us. That's being ready and sharp right away, knowing that it's coming. We don't have home ice in this series, obviously, and we're playing against one of the best home teams in the NHL, and not just this year, but historically. It's a tough building to play in, and they play very well there. So that's a big part of us, succeeding in this series is how we manage that. So, yeah, you gotta manage your emotions. You got to still be able to do your job. Certainly not be on your heels, but expect. You go back and you've watched a lot of their games, and you go to the first TV timeout and they're out shooting their opponent pretty dramatically, and that's against some of the best teams in the league. So you just got to go into it prepared for that and manage it, and then over time you're able to get some footing in the game and get yourself going.
Bringing in this the defenseman from Russia, Nikishin, have you done any scouting on him or watched any KHL film for that?
Not quite yet. We're pulling some stuff and having that just so we're prepared on it. But it's going to be it would be so foreign to our league and to their system and structure. But we'll see how they're going to manage that. I expect to see him in the series at some point. It seems like he's a very strong player, obviously, but they've got 6 healthy defensemen that are veterans and very good players too. So we're preparing for those guys as well, and that's of course what we have the sample on. But we'll be mindful of everyone that's available to them.
Particularly when Jack and Dougie came out of the lineup, people on the outside looking in, were saying there was a good chance New Jersey might not make the playoffs, and obviously you're here now. When you reflect on the season, what are you most proud of this group? And the obvious answer is getting to this point, but just with all of the adversity this team faces.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. We've talked about it. I've liked how our team has responded in situations. What you just referenced, we lost Jack and Dougie, which kind of piled on losing Siegenthaler, who was just tremendous for us before he got hurt this year, and his defensive impact on our team is significant. But then you lose two of your offensive contributors in Jack and Dougie, each kind of leading their way and from their respective positions within a few days of each other and the same week as the trade deadline. So it took its toll on our team. It was a tough week for us. But our group really pulled together. We came out of that trade deadline, won 3 games in a row. I look at the 2 Columbus games that we played them. They weren't back to back, but they were within a week of each other, and got 4 points there, and so we created some distance between us and Columbus. We played the Rangers recently, who had the best chances of catching us at that time, and had a big win there. And I think we got 7 out of 8 points against them this season, which is just significant again to create that distance within the division. So our team has responded at different times. So home and home with Minnesota towards the end there, getting 4 points out of that at a very important time in the season. Our team has responded well, that's where my optimism comes from. Well aware of, we weren't as consistent as I'd like to be. I think we should finish higher in the standings despite our injuries and such. that's a topic for another day. But I like this group and proud of how they've handled themselves and handled difficult situations to put us in a position to still be playing hockey here beyond the regular season.
Sheldon, is there any chance at all that Siegenthaler sees any time in this series, or no?
It would be a surprise to me and to our team if that is the case. He's skating and all of that, but that is. I wouldn't say they've told me he's definitely not going to play, but I haven't even asked the question because everything I was told was it was going to be well into May before he'd be a possibility.
You watched Jesper Bratt a lot as an opposing coach when you were coaching against him. Was there anything you gained more of an appreciation of with him when you took over this job and started seeing him on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, I've said this a lot, and to me it's just how he conducts himself off the ice, and I guess how he practices and how he works at his game. But you look at how consistent he is in both his production, the fact that he's remained healthy and stays in the lineup and contributes that way. To me, it's all rooted in how he conducts himself and how he manages himself off the ice. He goes the extra mile to make sure his body is prepared, and that gives him an opportunity to utilize his skills, which are tremendous. So that I'd say is probably the biggest part. I've seen the talent. I think everybody in the league that pays attention would see the talent. It's obvious, and even if you haven't seen it, you just got to look at the stats, and he jumps off the page. But how he conducts himself on a daily basis is highly impressive, and just huge for us to have a player of his caliber that sets the bar in terms of professional preparation and taking ownership of all the things that he can control.
Thank